Athletes, so you had some questions this week about some of the exercises that are programmed in the workouts, and I'm going to go over all of them right now. So, first up, it is the staggered stance deadlift. All right, so many different options you can take when you do this. You can do this with the trap bar, straight bar, kettlebell, dumbbell. Really, the choice is yours. I'm going to pick the most challenging option to show you because the fundamentals all still apply no matter what you use. Okay, so when you address the bar, think of it as if you were just doing a normal deadlift, right? So you would stand close to the bar. Let's pretend for sakes that this is up off the ground a little bit, like it actually has plates on it. I would take my normal deadlift stance, right? Just straight ahead, close to the bar. But all I would do is I would just take one step back, and now I'm staggered. The reason we do this in our workouts in Lift Heavy, Swing Fast is that as a golfer, hinging and loading into your hip is super important. All right, so I think this is a great way to get into each individual hip, and you get a little bit deeper each time. All right, so when we stagger our stance, remember you're going to start with plates on it. It's going to be about right there. All right, so I want to bring the bar up. I'm just going to stagger that foot back. I'm going to be up on like the balls of my feet. My heel's going to be off the ground. And then all the same rules of a deadlift still apply. I'm going to hinge, load through the hamstring and glute, come straight down, keep my back flat. And I'm just going to bend this right knee, but I'm still going to, that left leg is basically just a normal deadlift, right? Drive back up, use the floor, squeeze at the top. And that's it. If you were doing a normal deadlift, it would look just like this, right? Feet a little too close right there. So there's your normal deadlift. All you do, take one step back and do the exact same thing. But I feel a much deeper stretch in my hip, my left hip right now, that hamstring, and I could even get really, probably really deep if I wanted to there. So I really like that variation, unilateral strength getting into one hip at a time. So that's your staggered stance deadlift. Again, if you're going to use a kettlebell or any other thing, it'd still be the same. Here's your normal deadlift. Here's staggered stance. And I even like to put my hand there because I really feel that big dive into my hip. Staggered stance deadlift. Next question this week came about the dynamic kettlebell swings. And I just call them that. I really don't know what these were even called. So if there's someone out there that's going to watch this video and you're going to leave me a nasty comment, I don't know what they're called. They're like a kettlebell swing. There's more dynamic. So calling them a dynamic kettlebell swing. So let's start with the basics, right, of your normal kettlebell swing. Bell's out in front of you. You take, I just call it like a hybrid squat deadlift stance. So my toes are out, but I'm not going to squat down. I'm going to hinge back. So there's my squat stance, but I'm in a deadlift hinge, all right? The bell's out in front of me. I like to think about breaking the stick. That's going to engage my upper back. Hamstrings are loaded. Pull the bell through, hike it, and snap. Squeezing the butt, abs, and there's your normal kettlebell swing. Now, here's where the fun begins. We're going to do the dynamic version. So it's one at a time. So similar to the move we just talked about, the staggered stance deadlift. It's a hinging into one hip at a time. So these actually are pretty close to almost like the same type of exercise. But what we're going to do, it's a little bit of rotation. So as we pull that bell back, it's going to be in here, and then we're going to rotate into the hip. I'm also going to rotate my torso, and then I'm going to step, finish here. Now you got to sequence this, all right? A little bit of brain power comes in here. You're going to step back again, up, pop, all right? So looks a little bit something like this. Start out here, hike it, step back. Notice what I'm doing with my free hand. It goes back, then I pop. So slow it down. I'm going deep in here. Loading, rotating, up, pop, step, boom. Remember, you always want to see the bottom of that kettlebell come up. That's how you get that power from your legs. If you get it just from your arm, that bell is going to face down. All right, got to get that pop, rotate, boom. That's your dynamic swing. So it's all about sequencing. If that is too challenging, I think a great place to start is just a single arm swing. So you're just here, bell's out in front, pull back, and you can even stagger the foot and not worry about the stepping for now, and then add that in later. Remember, just build up to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So that's your dynamic kettlebell swing. I'm a little out of breath. The third and final question that you all had was about the Landmine Curtsy Lunge. So first, let's address just the Curtsy Lunge part of it. So Curtsy Lunge gets its name from, I believe, back in the day, maybe ladies used to, take their dress and it would be like a curtsy, or I don't think they would lift it up. I shouldn't have done that, but maybe like that so they don't step on it. All right. So that was like your curtsy lunge, right? So what you're doing is you're stepping back. I still like to see the knee stay out over the toe, and we're loading and turning with the hip, all right? So you're just getting a little twist to the knee. If you got bad knees, you might need to just stick with the regular lunge for now. If you have poor hip mobility, you're really gonna be twisting your knee. So be careful with this one, but the curtsy lunge, just step back like so, really loads and twists the hip. Really like this one, just a new dynamic way to lunge. Now, when you hold it with the landmine here, the landmine's great because it also adds a little more stability. You can kind of push into the landmine and it'll kind of keep you upright a little bit better. So I don't know what the exact question was, what was the challenge with doing this? Maybe it was with the landmine, how you hold it, because it's kind of weird. You can kind of just cradle it. You can hold it by the end if you want. You can cradle it in your arms. You're not going to be able to put up a ton of weight on this, so it's not going to be too challenging to hold. So I'll just kind of hold it like this, take my other arm across, and then now I'm just going to simply step back and notice that the weight is on the side where I'm stepping that leg. The down leg is going to stay on the outside. So load here, and you'll notice as you cradle, I can push into this thing if I need to get a little bit of balance. So we don't have to fret with your balance so much, because that can be a problem with a lot of exercise. When you lose your balance, we lose strength and stability, right? So step back. And over time, you can adjust the step, right? Like it doesn't need to be this like crazy out to the side, step. It can be more of a reverse lunge. You don't have to bring your knee too far away. You can keep it close. Learn what works for your body and then progress it as you go. So that is the landmine curtsy lunge. You can do it with anything. Hold a dumbbell right here. Hold them down to your side. Whatever works best for you.